Oops. Okay, guys. So let's get that back here. Oops. Let's get this back. Okay. So we are doing a live stream today. And we are looking at, I do this. Yeah. And we are looking at text A, part A, text analysis and matching questions. That's what we'll be looking at today. So what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of time just introducing the part of the exam, and also we'll go to what kind of skills we need. We'll have a look at that as well. And then by the end of today, we will have answered the matching questions for a part A test. Okay, so that's the idea today. Let me go and open my study document, which is here. Yeah, okay, let's go up here. All right, okay, so let's do a quick introduction to reading part A. Number of questions, how many?
24.
20.
20, sorry, 20.
24, isn't it, in what other part of the exam?
Listening.
Listening part A.
Listening part A.
Yeah. Number of texts, Vizada?
4 texts.
4
15
texts.
Sure.
Okay, 4 texts. Okay, and let's go for, let me ask Talita, how long do we have? Talita?
Oh my God, I can't remember that.
Would you like
50 minutes.
Would you like 25 minutes?
Yeah,
We have like 20 minutes.
Love 25
I would
minutes.
love 25 minutes.
But it's 15 minutes, isn't it? Okay. So the challenges for us are trying to do 20 questions in 15 minutes. 20 questions in 15 minutes, less than a minute per question. That's not easy. Okay, that's not easy. So what we should be thinking about is, what is this? How am I doing it? Am I using the same skills as in reading part C?
No.
I would suggest that you use some of the skills that you use in part A in part C, but some of the skills in part C you don't use in part A. Really, you don't have to do that. If you think part C is about building up understanding and meaning and complex ideas through multiple sentences, there's not much of that in reading part A. In fact, these are all functional documents, and we should be able to identify which text we want to go to get the information. That's what we're really trying to do. So what we're trying to really do is work out a way of doing this quickly and accurately. So what to expect? Let's talk about what to expect. Text types. Text types. Petruza, are you there? Hello, Petruza? You not there? Kai, are you there?
Yes, Paul.
Hi, Kai. Tell me about the
Hi.
texts. What are they like?
So they're
said that-
generally about one topic, for example,
Okay.
tetanus.
Yeah, they're thematically linked. So what was your
Yeah.
example then?
For example, tetanus.
Tetanus, yeah, tetanus. Okay, can you think of a few different aspects to tetanus that you could possibly do?
For example, first about generally about tetanus, some
Yeah.
information.
Information about, yeah, okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah, information about tetanus, yeah.
Yes,
About
symptoms,
signs and symptoms.
tests.
Signs and symptoms, yeah, signs and symptoms. So if we were looking at information about tetanus, it might say something like the bacteria. Is it bacteria involved in
Yeah.
tetanus? Yeah. So they might give you
Yeah,
some
yeah.
bacterial information or common ways that it's contracted. Yeah, okay. And then you might say something, signs and symptoms. Yeah, that's obvious. Anything else?
Management.
Diagnosis.
How to manage it, how to diagnose it. Okay, yeah. So now the management might be something a little bit more tricky. It might be management. It might be something like different age
Medicine.
groups, different age groups, possibly. So you should always do this with people at this age. You should always do that with people of that age. You should always give this amount to these people and that amount to those people. So yeah, excellent. That's exactly right. We've got thematically linked texts. They might not all feature the same people. And they might, this is just an example. The kind of language that we're going to find in here. Okay, the language is not going to be very literary. It's generally not going to be very complicated. There are some bits that are complicated. There are, I agree. It can be complicated sometimes, but generally we've got medical, technical language, It's generally functional. Okay, that's how I see reading part A. Not any opinions in here. That's not what it's about. It's not about opinions. It's about their facts, aren't they? Okay, now
Function mean,
what was that? Sorry.
sorry, Paul, functional mean here.
Functional means there's a specific purpose for why we're using this language. It's not
Okay.
just entertaining. All right. It's here to say this does this and that does that. This happens before that. This happens after that. This happens when you do this. Generally, that kind of information.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to Amit Jan. Are you there, Amit Jan?
Yes.
Tell me about question types, Amit Jan. What have we got?
I think we have three types of question.
Yeah.
First one is matching question.
Yeah.
Second
So
one is,
what are we matching?
so which text is matched with another? I mean,
Yeah. So it's text
whether it is
matching.
in A or B. Yes. Text
Yeah.
matching.
So, and it's generally with a sentence, isn't it? Or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So with a sentence or a question. Yeah. Where would we find this kind of thing? Yeah. Okay. Next one, number 2.
It is short answer or phrase gap filling. Yeah.
Short answer. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So we're asked the question like, so we're asked the question like, how many people live in Germany? Okay. Well, I'm going to go and find that, and it's going to be a number, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. And then the third one, Amit Jan.
Blank, fill in the blanks, complete
Yeah,
the sentence
fill in.
with the exact phrase.
Sentence completion.
We'll call this a gap fill. Well, it's not exactly sentence completion, because sentence completion often is at the end of a sentence, but this can just be in the middle as well. But yeah, gap fill / sentence completion. Okay. So these are the different kinds of questions. And the way I see it is that these two questions are very similar. Very, very similar. And tomorrow, when Alan returns and does his class tomorrow, he's going to be looking at short answer and gap fill questions on this text. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about prepping in the first stage of the reading part A process, prepping the texts, and we'll do some text matching as well. Something else I'd like to do is look at some skills. So we'll look at those now. Let's try and get ourselves ready. Okay. What's our process? What is our process? I mean, if you think about it, break it down to very simple steps. Now, is there anyone here that answers questions first? That's the first thing they do.
No.
Is
No.
there anyone? No? When we first started teaching OET, we found it was about 50-50. Lots of people used to just go and do the questions because they were thinking 15 minutes, I've got to answer the questions. But ultimately, it's slower to do that. It takes longer to do that. So our basic process is become familiar with the texts and then do the questions. Is there anyone that disagrees with those two simple steps? Any challenges? Because there are some people that say, go and do the matching questions first and then do the other questions. But for me, I just don't think that helps us.
Yes. Sorry, Paul, just the 7th question, matching question. I'm not talking about this, but I regard the other question. First of all, I do the gap filling. I start from 20 and come, then 90, because it's easier, just keywords needed to find it out and put it in the blanks.
Really? So you think the gap fill is easier than the short answer?
Yeah, because in short answer, sometimes you change the tense, and also sometimes it is change in the question. For example, they ask for a synonym, and you could find it. It's difficult, but in gap filling, it's just to find exactly the same sentence, but just you could find the keywords and put it in a blank.
I get what you mean. I don't think I share the same feeling. I think I understand what you mean, but for me, I don't find the gap fill questions any easier. The same requirement is there for both. You have to put exactly what it says in the text, in the answer. You can't change any of the language. Okay, the language in the sentences might change, but you can't change anything. So for me, I get what you mean. I don't think it makes much difference. What I would say though, like you said, Farouk, is I think I would always do the matching questions before I did the gap fill and the short answer, because they are basically part of the process of becoming familiar with the text.
Familiar with text, yeah. This one.
I become more familiar after I do those matching questions, but we definitely need to do something to become more familiar with the texts before we go, because if we don't, then we can't do the most important thing, which is save time. We need to reduce the amount of time it takes us to find answers. So the first stage of that is going to the right text. Alan will do more on those questions tomorrow. Okay, so skills. What kind of skills do we need? Can anyone tell me any skills that they think we need?
Yeah.
And
Scanning and skimming.
Scanning and skimming.
Yeah.
Scanning and skimming. Is it useful for you to have good grammar?
I think no, grammar is not important in this part.
Not useful, really.
No, I think
It is important.
Yes,
Um,
you have
for
to
me,
know
I
synonyms. Yeah.
I think it is. You know, I know this sounds unfair, but I often walk back from, okay, there are some people who can do part A in 10 minutes. There are some people who can do that. Then generally might be native speakers. For me, I find part A, I do it in about 10 minutes. So let's work back from that. Why? I don't know as much as you do about medicine. I don't know what some of these illnesses and treatments and investigations are. I've got no idea what they are. Sometimes I'm completely lost. I've never seen some of the words before, and you know what they are. So you have an advantage over me there. So why am I faster?
because you have linguistic skills better than us.
I've got grammar and vocabulary, haven't I?
Yes.
And if you put those two together, I've got comprehension skills.
Yes.
And it even though part C and part A are different, comprehension is so important. I've got something else though, which is a third thing, which is this. Become familiar with the texts. I'm really experienced at that now. And when you first start doing part A, that becomes it's a hard thing to do. It becomes easier, becoming familiar with the texts. You're not expected to know everything about the texts. You're just supposed to try and get some key information from them. And by doing skimming, you can do that. So skimming is the process of reading a text, but without reading every single detail. Okay, I'm not asking you to count how many letter A's there are in a text. I'm asking you to just gloss over the text, try and get to the point where you think, I know what that's about. I've got some key ideas from it. I think I would recognize any questions that match to it. That's what we want. And you do this all the time when you're, let's say when you're reading a recipe, okay? And you're trying to find out, okay, so what do we do with the icing? And you look through the recipe, making a cake, and icing's down there. You've just read through, you've read some of the things, you know that this bit's not about icing, this is not about, oh no, this bit's about icing. You've done a bit of a scan, you found it, but you've just skimmed through this bit. And if someone said, what were the first bits about? You'd probably be able to say what they are, but not in detail. So that's what we need. I have got a little exercise for us to do, a skimming exercise. Can you see that paragraph there? Okay. Yeah. I want you to read that paragraph. All right. And I want us to do it quite quickly as well. All right. I want you to read it in about 30 seconds. And then afterwards, you're going to answer a question for me. Okay. I'm going to show it to you for 30 seconds. Then I'm going to take it off the screen and I'm going to give you a question. And then I want you to put your hands up and tell me, if you feel confident that you can tell me what part A is about. Sorry, what this one's about. Is everyone ready?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes, we're ready.
Oh.
Yes, yeah.
Shall we end the class now, guys? Yes.
No,
Of energy.
Come on, guys. Let me hear a nice, excited yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here it is. 30 seconds is on here now. Okay, we've just had 30 seconds. I'm going to take this off. Put your hand up, guys, if you feel like you can answer this question. Just put your hand up. Don't tell me yet. Just put those hands up. Okay, who have we got? We've got Adnan. Adnan, what do you think?
Yeah, the main idea for this text is that how to use your private garden to make plant of the daily useful vegetables.
Okay, use your private garden to make use of vegetables.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone that would have a slightly different? Now, don't put your hands up. Put your hand down if you agree with that, and keep your hand up if you think something slightly different.
Slightly different.
Slightly. We've got some. Okay, let's go for Ahmad Siddiqui.
Hi,
Yes.
Paul. Yes,
No, so not Siddiqia, Siddiqui. Sorry.
sorry.
Go on.
In the meantime, actually, what my colleague just said, so you can save money as well. For instance,
Yes.
Yeah. Did anyone else think that? Anyone can say now.
Yes.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
25% reduction.
I
in
was
the-
thinking this. I was saying use your private garden to save money.
That's
money.
That was what I took away from it. All right.
Yeah.
Now, why did I think that? Okay, let's look at the text again. So you're absolutely right. Private garden, we've got garden here, we've got growing vegetables. Now, I was thinking that some people might say it's about growing vegetables. Well, it is true. It is about growing vegetables. There's loads of stuff to do with vegetables, isn't there, in here? Loads of stuff to do with it. We've got vegetables here, we've got vegetables there, we've got potatoes as well. So there's loads there. We've got the word vegetable here as well. Vegetable here. It is about vegetables. There's no doubt that it is about vegetables.
But also they are mentioning about money.
Yeah, money. There's lots and lots of money. Economical,
Financial benefit.
Grow your saving.
save up to
Saving up to
25%.
25%.
Grow
Grow
your
vegetable and save money.
Yeah, it's
Save,
all
save
about
up.
that, isn't it? It's all about
Grow,
that. Okay.
grow vegetable and save money.
Yeah.
Grow vegetables and save money. Where's that? I can't see it.
Plant some vegetables and grow your savings. At the last point,
Yeah, it's
don't
there.
wait.
It's at the end, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? Really, if I skim that text and I come away from it thinking it's about vegetables, then if there's a question like this, what is the best way to reduce your shopping bills?
To use your specific garden.
Okay,
Yes.
well, that question here, I
Planting
don't
vegetables.
know. Wait a second, guys. I don't know if you look into your mind and think, you know what, I'm going to go to this text. Because if you go away from this text thinking it's about growing vegetables, then you're not thinking about reducing. It could be weekly costs. Now there's no mention at all of vegetables there. So that's why I'm saying skimming is not just saying, oh, it has this in the text. Yes, it has vegetables in there. Yes, it's got potatoes. Yes, it's got carrots and tomatoes. But it's also got this money stuff. It's not just money. It's not just vegetables. It's growing your own vegetables to save money. So that's just a quick example of how skimming can be done really, really well, or it can be done okay. If you do it really, really well, you'll save time. You'll get better answers. You'll go to the right text. If you do it okay, then okay, you'll do all right, but you'll be a bit slower. You'll have to work a bit harder when you're trying to do the questions. So skimming, really, really useful thing to be able to do. And I know it's a bit different to normal. What are the things that you think could be useful? Let's take all of these away. Let's take all of this away and try and think. If this was something that you had to analyze, Lucinda, are you there? If this was something that you had to analyze for your part A, is there anything there that you think would be useful? Okay, we've got the overall key idea, so the meaning of the text. We've got that one. That's very good. That's good use. But what else is there that you think might be useful for you to keep up here?
Numbers.
Yes.
Okay, so Lucinda, have you done many part A readings?
No, it's first time.
Okay, first time. Okay, wow. So imagine Lucinda's thinking about this, guys. Blank slate here. Okay, so Lucinda, the reason why you're sort of struggling and other people will be thinking, I know, is because we're thinking about what's going to be in the questions, what's going to be in, what type of things would be in the questions. So for me, I'd be thinking this one.
Yes.
Anyone else thinking that's a bit suspicious?
Yes.
No, brackets.
Yeah, okay.
Bracket is important.
25%. Yeah. Now, do you know what the difference here might be between me and other people? Something that might be different. Let's wait, guys. Just wait here. I can just hear someone mumbling in the back there. Okay. That 25% is very useful for us to know. But you know what I would do? I would do this. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Yes. Limit.
Up to. That's an important little phrase, because they might ask in the question, what's the maximum you can save?
Up to 25%.
Up to 25%. And in another text, there might be multiple percentages. Okay. So up to is definitely very useful. Then we've got things like this. I mean, I know in this case, it's not very OET, is it? But these could be symptoms, couldn't they, in an OET text?
Categories.
Categories, classification, exactly, yeah. Okay, so we need to be suspicious as well and thinking, that word, that phrase, this one could help me. So when we're doing skimming, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot to do, but you've got to do this, okay? You've got to identify the key purpose or the main idea of the text and identify useful or suspicious language. How long per text?
Less than a minute.
10 seconds, I think.
Seconds.
I'm saying 30 to 40 seconds. It depends on the text, doesn't it? It does depend on the text. But really, we want to be in a position. I want to be in a position. After 5 minutes, I want all of the texts to have been analyzed and for me to have done the matching questions. That's my ambition. Sounds ambitious, but at the beginning of this journey, it does feel difficult. After you've done it a few times, you start to get into this process. You've got to be working fast. Okay, when that clock starts ticking, use that pressure, that adrenaline that you get, that feeling. Don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it be a wave which knocks you down and makes you feel scared. Instead, get yourself up, excited, ready. Okay, get in there with a process that works. Get the main idea of the text, purposes. Identify language that you think, like I'm saying, suspicious language that you think might be in the questions later. and try and do it as quickly as possible. I'm a great believer in doing things slowly first and then fast later. So don't worry if you're not fast at the beginning, get better. Okay, get faster. Okay, I'm going to give you some texts to analyze in a moment. For the time being, does anyone have any questions about skimming and how to skim the texts? No?